Well, this comic book shop is filled with stories of heroes trying to fight and find justice, but the owner here never thought he'd see one of those stories play out right before his own eyes.
I was pretty heartbroken about it.
That's because 3,000 of Martin Casas' comics were stolen out of his unit at Public Storage in downtown St. Louis.
I collect them for like sentimental purposes. Like I got this comic like when my daughter was born, or the month my wife and I got married, or when my dad died when I was a kid, or when I graduated. So I have like all these really cool comics and like memories behind each one of them. So it did sting a lot.
He reached out to other comic book shop owners and told his employees at Apotheosis Comics to be on the lookout for someone trying to sell these books, but he knew his chances of finding them were slim.
I got a phone call from one of my staff members and they said, hey, someone just brought in a box of comics, you want to come take a look at it? And I go, sure. So I'm just like really depressed because I'm like, dude, I know that's not gonna be my books. Like I gotta look at these stupid boxes all week.
The woman left the comics along with her name and phone number, waiting on an appraisal. But the box they were in is what Casas noticed first.
She wrote Captain America, Cap on the side of it. And I was like, oh, that's my kid's writing. And then I started looking by and I go, there were some notes I made on the side of the box. And so I saw those. And then I knew that was my handwriting. And then I go, okay, if this one specific issue is going to be in here, this is my box of comics. And so I pulled through the box and I pulled it out and I was like, yeah, these are mine.
He says he called the police, who set up a sting inside his store.
Kind of ironic, like Batman was glaring at her the entire time.
Like a comic book plot coming to life before his eyes.
What they told me was that this was a group of people that were stealing and breaking into other storage units, and they'd hit like at least 20 or so in the region.
I reached out to St. Louis police for a comment, but I have not heard back yet. We will not be identifying these suspects until formal charges have been filed. Live in Tower Grove, Michelle Medeiros, Fox.